So they were basically just taking you in a circle
in a way.
so they were.
And don't ask me how long it took, where and what. We didn't know the cities, we didn't know nothing. All we prayed, please God, let it happen soon. That the winners, America and Russia and Britain and everything should get a hold of this and make an end to it, you know.
And you ended up back at.
And so I wound up back in Theresienstadt, and they put us into a quarantine. And my daddy was gone already. At the time, my uncle was in Theresienstadt. So he went home after the war. It was over, and they went into they went home to the children and my aunt, and then my daddy came and was hiding in 4 days.
Kind of go a little bit back to Auschwitz just to touch on a few things. In your experience, we talked.
Remember, I was not there long.
I know, 4 days. It was very short. Or I guess we can kind of extend this out to all the camps that you were in. That's something I wanted to touch on. Did you ever come across what we might call sympathetic Germans or the Nazi Party? Did you ever find anybody that seemed like they...
Okay. I was working on the street.
Mm-hmm.
As I told you that we took electric wiring on the thing. There was an old lady. Every day she came by and she looked and looked. And one day, that was like almost 2 weeks later, she went and threw an apple into my ditch. Okay? I picked up the apple, and the siren from the top was going like crazy, and right away the overseer came and grabbed me. And they let me talk to the top lady, you know, the one that had the 3 stripes.
Tell me about the 3 stripes.
And anyway, and she took me, and I was in a dark room for a day.
Oh, so that was punishment.
As a punishment.
So that was like a solitary confinement?
More or less.
So, tell me about the stripes. The lady, was she the head?
Yeah.
And tell me about, you kind of...
She came from Auschwitz originally, and that's where she did her good work.
And tell me about that good work.
Well, that's what they say, that if I had never seen it, I never can say it. All I know is that she had these 3 stripes, and from the other girls that came, we were later in Öderan, we were put together with 200 Hungarians and 200 Polish people, and then us, 200 Czechs. Those people who were before in Auschwitz have brought it up as a conversation, and that's what they said.
And what was the significance of the stripes?
That was 1,000 people killed.
By her hand?
Well, what, shooting, or she brought them to the shower or did something, you know.
So these were, to them, like badges of honor?
Absolutely. Badges of honor.
And you got the extreme pleasure of meeting this lady.
Oh, yes.
And she put you...
And how I met her, that Sammy will show you. Every week we got painted on our tushy and on my back. And that was so we don't run away, with a white color on our clothing.
Oh. Was this on just your clothing?
Your
or
clothing.
Not your person?
No.
Okay.
Better not.
So so this one lady, did she ever get caught? Do you know? Did she ever get the lady that threw the apple?
They probably let her go. She was a German, you know, and she probably maybe thought we all were Germans working on the street.
Sure. So,
Yeah.
but that was pretty much the only time that you...
They didn't have much fruits because everything had to go to the military.
Sure.
they didn't have much for the civilian people, you know.
Absolutely. So we were, you ended back in Theresienstadt,
Right,
and you were on quarantine for
right, 1 month,
typhoid,
yes.
and this is where you learned your father had
That's
indeed
right.
not been killed. And you had,
Right.
up till now, did you know one way or the other? You'd been told, but did you have in your heart or in your mind that he was still alive? Or
Now, I thought maybe that his brother would be alive, because his brother was a big sympathizer at the time of the Russians, and in a communistic way. But then, once he was in a concentration, he gave up his thinking, you know.
sure,
So Ziggy was his name.
Ziggy.
Ziggy.
What I want to backtrack a little bit. I kind of skipped over something. Talk about when the Russians liberated.
Okay. I was in the left room when you walk today into the library of Theresienstadt.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I wound up to be at the end of my stay. This is where they had a gate, and they can lock you up there. Today it's open, and they have a big picture, kind of thing made out of iron, the face of Freddie Hirsch, because he really was something, you know, when he volunteered. So they made a special thing, and we watched when they put it up, and it was nice. Well, what can I say?
What happened? I mean, you were in that room.
Okay. Afterwards, I ran out. First, my mother was hiding me, making like a merry baby, because they walked through our room during the night and trying to pick girls, okay?
These were the Russians?
That's what the Russians.
But
I did not, thank God, was put into this position. And I ran out during the day, and that's when the Russians came in and started throwing things at us, chocolate and cigarettes and things like that. And the first thing they started doing, some of these people are making a black market out of it. Throw me more or do me more, you know. So that was the hello from the Russians. Now, the other Russians were not so nice, okay? And they all wanted, the first thing, they pulled our arm up. They wanted to know if we have a watch. And they had like 6, 7 watches already on the arm. It was the most funniest thing, stupid. But anyway, that's what it was. And as they came closer, there was a Jewish soldier that was in a concentration camp, ran away and joined the Russian army. It was where within few minutes, they were already there. You know,
Wow.
I don't know exactly how that happened. And he told us that he is Jewish, and and he handed us some cigarettes and some chocolates and stuff like that. He says, and make sure that the Jewish people will get it.
excellent.
And he did, and he gave it to us, and we gave it away, and that was nice.
Yes.
And that was extra. We got regular from the other. Then we have the other stories that were not so nice.